Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. So today we are going to discuss class 12 chapter number 15. Chapter name is organic chemistry. Topic is coal as a source of organic compounds. This you can watch on the page 104. 104. Page 104 of. But before this topic, there is a very small topic at the bottom of the previous page, that was fermentation. So what is fermentation? Actually, let me discuss orally something about that very small topic. Fermentation is a biological process, biochemical process by which we can prepare a lot of chemicals using microorganisms. So by using microorganisms like fungi, bacteria, we can prepare many chemicals. For example, alcohol. Alcohol is wines, vodka, beer, champagne, gin, tara, all they contain alcohols. Alcohol is produced by the fractional distillation of by the fermentation of sugar or glucose or whatever may be the source of sugar, but fruit skin as well. Similarly, vitamins, similarly some antibiotics or carboxylic acids, they can be prepared by using the process of fermentation. So fermentation is also one of the source of organic compound. Now I am coming back towards my topic on the page 104, that is coal. Coal is a source of organic compounds. This question can also fall in your paper is destructive distillation of coal. So what is meant by the destructive distillation? We also have discussed in our previous lecture that when coal is subjected to high temperature of 500 to 1000 degrees C, so in presence of a catalyst or in absence of catalyst it may be. So when you heat the coal from 500 to 1000 degrees C in absence of air, air means oxygen, otherwise it will catch fire. So when you heat it in absence of air, it never catch fire, but the compounds present in coal, they escapes number by number. Then we separate it from each other by on the basis of their difference in their boiling points. So this is called what? Destructive distillation. When coal is subjected to fractional distillation or destructive distillation, we get number of things: crude, coal gas, ammonical liquid, coal tar, coke and carbon gas. So the first fraction which is obtained is the crude coal gas. It is further allowed to fractionally distill. For example, when this is obtained, fractional distillation of this crude coal gas is again carried out, through which we can obtain benzol, coal gas, cyanides, sulfur compounds. Coal gas mainly contain methane. So this fraction gives us these compounds, cyanides, for example, potassium cyanides, hydrogen cyanide or many others. Coal gas mainly contain methane, benzol, other derivatives of benzene. Actually it's a ketonic benzene. Sulfur compounds, sulfur containing compounds. Similarly, ammonical liquid, it mainly contains ammonium chloride and some other chemicals. So coal tar is the important fraction of destructive distillation of coal. When coal tar is obtained, again we carry out the fractional distillation of coal tar. We get many fractions which are very important. For example, benzol. Similarly, we get toluene, we get xylene, we get naphthalene, phenol and many others. It has been estimated that round about more than 200 different organic compounds are obtained by the fractional distillation of coal. So the residue which is left after the destructive distillation of coal, that is the coke. Coke is the same coke that is used for barbecue. Similarly, the carbon gas is some gaseous carbon. It contains methane, carbon monoxide, and hydrogen. So these are the various fractions which are obtained by the destructive distillation of coal. In Pakistan, the geological survey has depicted that how much coal is present. That is around about 184 billion tons. These reserves are present in Thar and other many areas in Karak, in many Balochistan and many other areas of Pakistan. So these are the total coal reserves which are present. They must be extracted in order to in order to overcome the deficiency of energy. So let me discuss something about the origin of coal. Remember, students, that in old days, old times, when there was let's say before the start of the human civilization, the whole world was covered by thick jungles or forests. Huge sky-kissing trees were there, huge trees, because when there is man, he cut down the trees and starts deforestation. So there was no man, that was before the human civilization. So lot of trees were there. Now, due to the geological changes mean those changes which occur in earth, upon or under the earth's surface. So due to the earthquakes, due to the floods, due to the volcanic eruptions, those huge trees, they were buried under the mud, soil or rocks, stones, sand. They get buried. Due to their burial, then in presence of high temperature, after millions of years, they converted into the first form of coal, that is called peat, and then later the other forms of coal are formed after very long time. So it takes very long time to prepare coal by a natural process under the earth's surface. So this was something new. So remember that coal is obtained by the death and decay of pre-existing or prehistoric, you can say, trees, plants. Okay, so this was something about the origin of coal. Coal is obtained by the death and decay, or you can say the biochemical treatment of dead bodies of the plants which once exist but they are no more now. So they are called fossils. This is also one of the fossil fuel. So I thank you all, students. We have discussed this thing, but let me also overlap another topic, which is the characteristics of organic compounds. If you go to the page 104, there is another topic, which is the characteristics of organic compound. I have discussed this topic in detail in my 10th class videos, but I would like to briefly discuss this topic here, because I have already discussed this topic in detail before in 10th class videos. You can also check those topics. So now my topic is the characteristics . It can also be the properties of organic compounds. So first of all it is in form of various points. Number one is the composition. Students, remember that carbon compounds are called organic compounds. So first of all, the first need of a compound to be organic is carbon. Then there may or may not be hydrogen, similarly nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus and halogens. For example, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, they may also be present, but this is essential. So the next is the combustion. You know, combustion is the ability to catch fire. Almost all organic compounds, for example, in our common life, you can see petrol, diesel, kerosene, plastics, papers, pulp, wood, they can catch fire. So for a illiterate person, if you want to make him realize what is organic and what is inorganic compound, so you can give this example that all organic compounds are combustible, they can catch fire, they undergo combustion. So combustion is one of the basic property of the organic compound. Similarly, the third property is the melting and boiling points. Remember that organic compounds are composed of molecules. Molecules are covalent in nature. So there are weak forces of attraction in between the molecules, which are called intermolecular forces of attraction, as they are weak. So these forces can be broken down at low temperature because they are weak. So that's why their melting points and boiling points, they are low. So the third point is the melting point and melting and boiling points. Organic compounds have low melting and boiling points. Why? Because they are composed of molecules. Molecules have weak force of attraction, and due to the presence of weak forces of attraction, they can be easily broken down. These forces can be easily broken down at lower temperature. When temperature is low, we can say that their melting and boiling points are low. Similarly, solubility. It must be noted that organic compounds are of two types, polar and non-polar. Those organic compounds which are polar, for example, urea, for example, glucose, for example, alcohol, they are soluble in polar solvent like water. So polar organic compounds are soluble in polar solvents like water, while those compounds which are non-polar, for example, methane, ethane, ethene, ethine, and many other, they are non-polar. So they are insoluble in water, which is a polar solvent, but they are soluble in non-polar solvents like carbon tetrachloride, benzene, ether, and many others. So direct like dissolve like rules applies here. The next is the stability. Remember that organic compounds have low melting and boiling points. So that's why we have studied this, we have discussed this, that they have low melting and boiling points. So as far as their stability is concerned, they are less stable because they can decompose upon heating, so because their melting and boiling points are low. Similarly, the electrical conductivity. Almost all the organic compounds are the bad conductors of electricity, because in compound state or in solution state, only ions are responsible for the conduction of electric current, and we know that there are no ions in organic compounds. Organic compounds are composed of molecules. Molecules are neutral, they never conduct electricity due to the absence of ions or free electrons. So the seventh is sources. So you know, plants, animals, and fossil fuels are the greatest sources of organic compounds. And finally, the rates of reaction, organic compounds are slow. Okay, so because they are composed of molecules, and molecules react slowly. So this was something about the properties of organic compound or characteristics of organic compounds. I thank you all. Please also watch my video for class 10th organic chemistry. Thank you.